Mistakes happen, even with the best of virtual assistants, but your response to mistakes is what defines you as a leader. So stick around for a proven 5-step method to fix issues, to strengthen trust, and to build your relationship with your VA and keep it thriving. Hi, I'm Nicole Magelssen. I am founder and CEO of Alpine Virtual, where we have saved business owners over 100,000 hours with virtual assistant support. Today's episode of your VA Success Guide, we will cover what to do when inevitably your virtual assistant messes up. I have had a potential client tell me that only one mistake is okay in her team ever. And even then, if a mistake is ever made, she will question them for the rest of their time working together. And while many leaders don't outright say it, we often treat our team members just like that. So my question to her was, what do you do then when a team member makes a mistake? Because like I said before, your response to mistakes is what defines you as a leader. Welcome to our VA Success Guide series. We're going to cut through the noise of working with virtual assistants. As someone who has built Alpine Virtual from the ground up, I have seen many mistakes that just completely derail relationships if handled poorly, or built stronger partnerships if addressed well. So today I'm going to dive into what to do when your virtual assistant makes a mistake with a practical 5-step process that is backed by data and by real-world experience from myself working with VAs and from our clients. Plus, I'm going to share some bonus tips to prevent mistakes or repeated errors moving forward and to keep your collaboration on track. So let's get started. Like I said, I hate to break it to you, everyone on your team is going to make a mistake. It's inevitable. No matter how great your team is, every single person on your team is a human, and so are you. So your team will make mistakes, but also remember that your response to mistakes is what defines you as a leader. Like I've said, mistakes are going to happen. VAs are human. They're going to mess up. No one is perfect, not even the robots, not even AI. So you need a VA who is honest, who is teachable, and who is going to own up to mistakes and grow. First, encourage your VA to own the mistake. No excuses, no hiding. This sets up a tone for accountability. A 2024 study by Upwork found that 78% of business owners value transparency in their VA partnership above anything else. So when a VA acknowledges that they made an error, like sending a wrong email or maybe missing a deadline, it builds trust and it shows that they're committed to fixing it. So at Alpine, we have a VA success coach, and she coaches our VAs to admit mistakes right away, up front, which resolves issues and helps keeps clients confident. Encourage your VA to take responsibility without fear, which is going to create a culture of honesty. Next, have your VA notify you as soon as possible with a clear, concise explanation of what happened and why, and even better, how they're going to fix it. No long-winded stories, just facts. So for an example, if they scheduled a meeting at the wrong time, they should explain if it was a misread email that caused that, or maybe a calendar mix-up. According to a 2023 report from There Is Talent, 65% of VA-related issues stem from miscommunication. So clarity here is critical. At Alpine Virtual, we train our VAs to send a brief message or an email outlining the error within 24 hours so that you're not left guessing. This ensures that you are on the same page and that you're going to move to solutions very quickly. Now prioritize fixing the mistake right away with a focus on the client experience. So whether it's resending a corrected email, rebooking a call, or updating a deliverable, swift action from your VA is going to minimize the damage. A 2025 Virtual Assistant Institute survey found that 82% of clients forgive VA errors if they're resolved promptly and if they're resolved professionally. So for an example, if a VA sends an outdated proposal, they could revise it and send it within hours, not days, and confirm that the client has received the corrected one. At Alpine Virtual, we emphasize immediate action to maintain trust and to keep the business running smoothly. So encourage your VA to take ownership of the fix while keeping you updated. Once the issue is resolved, identify what went wrong and how you're going to prevent it in the future. Maybe it was unclear instructions or a missing SOP or a tech glitch. Dig into the root cause further. For an example, if your VA missed a key task due to vague guidelines, you're going to want to update your SOPs or create a checklist. The 2024 report notes that businesses with documented processes are going to see 40% fewer VA errors over time. At Alpine, we help our clients refine templates and workflows after mistakes to ensure that they are not going to be repeated. So you want to work with your virtual assistant to tweak procedures like adding a double check step for emails or clarifying deadlines so that everyone is set up for success moving forward. Finally, you are going to want to close the loop with your VA with reflection. So ask your VA to summarize what they learned and how they're going to avoid similar issues moving forward. This isn't at all about blame or about making them feel bad. It's about growth. A 2023 Medium article on VA best practices found that regular feedback loops improve VA performance by 50% within 6 months. So for an example, after a scheduling error, your VA might say, I learned to confirm time zones in writing before booking. At Alpine, we also coach our VAs to share these takeaways in a quick follow-up email or a call, reinforcing trust and accountability. This step ensures that mistakes are becoming learning opportunities and they're actually strengthening the partnership. So here are some tips of what you can do if someone on your team inevitably makes a mistake. The first thing you're going to want to do is ask yourself some questions. What did they need from me in order to do that properly? And did they have that? How can we learn from this mistake and not repeat it again? You're going to want to remind yourself that mistakes are simply opportunities for improvement. So you're going to want to make this an opportunity to grow and for your team to build trust and grow together, not isolate the VA. How you respond to mistakes will be what makes or breaks team unity and communication. So do not assume anything. Instead, take some time, analyze the situation, ask questions, and communicate. You're going to want to give feedback right away. Do not let mistakes build. When you see the mistake, help them see where they can improve. Your team members are valuable, and you will experience much more loyalty and much less mistakes if you work with them instead of giving up on them the second that they mess up. Want to reduce your mistakes in the first place? The first thing that you're going to want to do is create SOPs, checklists, templates. Clear documentation is going to cut errors significantly. 2024 data shows that there's a 45% drop in errors when you have good documentation. So set a calm tone, avoid micromanaging, and avoid blame altogether. A 2025 Upwork study found that VAs perform 30% better in supportive environments. So these steps keep your VA empowered and your process tight. Here's an actual real-world example from my experience working with a personal VA that I had hired. This VA accidentally sent an outdated pricing sheet with a client. They owned up to it immediately. They notified the potential client within an hour, and they sent a corrected version, and then they sent an apology. So together, we identified the issue, which was partially my fault. It was a lack of version control, and we created a new naming process. And my VA told me, I will always check file dates before sharing. There wasn't a lost client. The process was improved, and trust actually grew between us. And I'm still working with her to this day. She hasn't made the same mistake ever again. So mistakes don't have to break your VA relationship. With this 5-step method and these tips, you can handle errors with empathy and structure and turn them into growth opportunities. At Alpine, we have seen this strengthen partnerships for hundreds of our clients. So yeah, try this next time and let me know in the comments, what is a mistake that you have faced with your VA? Subscribe for more in our VA Success Guide, and thank you for watching.